Writing can be really tough. That feeling of just staring at a blank page with no idea where to even start. We have all been there. But what if I told you there's a simple, step-by-step process that can turn all that confusion into confidence? Well, that's exactly what we're going to walk through today.
Right? That blank page, it can feel, I don't know, a little intimidating, can it? The pressure to get it perfect from the very first word can be paralyzing. But here's the secret. Good writing isn't about some kind of magic. It's about having a process. And that process is something anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn.
The solution is this thing called process writing. And honestly, it's a total game changer. It's built on the idea that great writing isn't some mysterious talent you're either born with or you're not. It's a skill you build, one step at a time. Just think of it like your personal roadmap, guiding you all the way from that first little spark of an idea to a final piece you can be proud of.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to shift our mindset and start seeing writing as a structured process. Then, we'll dive into the fun part, finding and shaping our ideas. After that, we'll build a solid foundation with strong paragraphs, learn how to bring those ideas to life, and finally, we'll talk about how to polish your work until it really shines.
All right, first things first, let's totally reframe how we think about writing. It's not some unpredictable bolt of lightning or burst of inspiration. Nope, it's a process, a reliable map that will guide you every single step of the way.
So, this map we're talking about, it's got 6 key landmarks. We start by choosing our destination, that's our topic. Then we gather our supplies by brainstorming ideas. Next, we plot our course by organizing those ideas. With that plan in place, we start the journey by writing our first draft. Then comes the crucial part, reviewing and revising. And the very last step is that final polish, proofreading our work so it's ready for the world. See how each step just flows right into the next?
Okay, let's get into the really fun part, the creative side of things. This is all about finding and shaping our ideas. This is where the magic really starts to happen. When you're picking a topic, it's all about finding that sweet spot. If your topic is way too broad, like just schools, you're going to feel overwhelmed. But if it's too narrow, like the ages of my brothers, well, you'll run out of things to say pretty fast. The goal is to find that just right topic, something like secondary schools in my country, that gives you plenty of room to explore without getting totally lost.
Once you've got your topic nailed down, it's time to brainstorm. And this is your chance to just be messy and creative. The goal here is quantity over quality. You just want to get as many ideas as possible down on paper without judging any of them. Let's look at a couple of easy ways to do that.
The simplest way to start is just by making a list. Seriously, just write down any word or phrase that pops into your head about your topic. So if you're writing about what to study, your list might have things like history, math, jobs, travel. Don't censor yourself, just get it all down.
Okay, here's another technique that's super powerful. Free writing. The rule is simple. You set a timer and you just write without stopping. The most important part is to ignore grammar, spelling, and even logic. Why does this work so well? Because it helps you bypass that little critic in your head and just lets the ideas flow. You will be amazed at what comes out.
Now, if you're more of a visual person, mapping is going to be right up your alley. You just put your main topic in a circle in the middle of the page, and then you branch out with related ideas, connecting them with lines. This is awesome for actually seeing the connections between your thoughts as you're coming up with them.
All right, so you've got this awesome collection of ideas. But what do you do with them now? It's time for step 3, organization. And we're going to give our ideas a solid structure by mastering the most fundamental building block of all writing, the paragraph.
So let's break it down. What exactly is a paragraph? Well, at its core, it's just a group of sentences, usually somewhere between 5 and 10, that all focus on one single topic. And you've probably noticed that the first sentence is often indented a bit. That's just a visual cue that we're starting a new idea.
Think of a really solid paragraph as having 3 main parts. It kicks off with a topic sentence, which is your main idea. Then it's followed by your supporting sentences, which back that idea up. And finally, it all wraps up with a concluding sentence that brings it to a nice, clean close.
The topic sentence. Think of it like a promise you're making to your reader. It's the single most important sentence in the whole paragraph because it tells everyone exactly what you're going to talk about. It's like a signpost that keeps both you, the writer, and your reader on the right path.
But here's the thing. Not all topic sentences are created equal. A weak one just states a simple fact, like, my friend's name is Ken. I mean, where do you go from there? It's a dead end. But a strong topic sentence, now that presents an idea that needs explaining, like, I admire my friend Ken because he doesn't give up. See? That second sentence just begs for more details, explanations, and examples.
And that, right there, leads us perfectly into the next step, actually drafting. Now that we have a strong topic sentence to guide us, it's time to bring that idea to life by building out the rest of our paragraph.
So how do you actually support that main idea you've promised? Well, you've got 3 really powerful tools. You can use specific details to add more depth, you can offer an explanation to make your point clearer, or you can share a really great example to make your idea feel concrete and relatable.
And last but not least, you need that concluding sentence to tie everything up nicely. This sentence can either summarize your main point or just offer a final thought. But there's one golden rule here. Never ever introduce a new idea in your conclusion. Its only job is to provide a sense of closure, not to open up a whole new can of worms.
Okay, we are in the home stretch now. It's time for those last super important steps, polishing your draft. This is where you take your good writing and make it great through careful review, revision, and proofreading.
You know, one of the best tools you can possibly have for making your writing better is peer editing. When you've been staring at the same words for hours, it's so easy to miss things. A fresh pair of eyes can spot things that are unclear or confusing in a heartbeat, giving you feedback you just can't get on your own.
And if you're the one giving the feedback, here's a super simple way to do it. First, just read it through once to get the main idea. Then, read it again, but more slowly, checking for things like the topic sentence. But really, the most valuable thing you can do is ask helpful questions, like, "This part's interesting. Could you say a little more about it?" That's what really helps the writer improve.
And this is a really important tip for anyone doing peer editing. Focus on the big picture stuff. I know it's tempting to just hunt for spelling mistakes and grammar errors, but the most helpful feedback is always about the content and the organization. Are the ideas strong? Is the structure logical? That's the feedback that leads to real improvement.
So there you have it. We've gone all the way from that scary blank page to a finished piece of writing. You now have a map, a clear step-by-step process to guide you on any writing journey. The only question left is, what story are you going to tell first?